You know what? I forgot to put my glasses. Agent Terminator.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now I recognize it.
I got drunk. I don't know where my room at. This guy said, "Oh, right here, right here, right here." Man, this guy was lying, dude.
Never a dull moment with
I never
David.
went to my room, man. That nice shit.
Everything was in there, and then they're like, "Oh, your costume's going to be inside the closet." Remember our tiger thongs? Yeah, the face was wait.
Yeah, like right on the crotch.
We had tigers, but for some reason, like Michael had like a flamingo or something. I don't know why. Whatever. I'm not that I was looking, but I was like, gotta be bad.
And then so Gore was like getting upset. We're doing take after take. He's like, "Is there anyone else who could play the drums?" And I never played the drums in my life, but I was like, "Yeah." So then he gives me the drums.
He's in character all the way through, from that point, walking to set, and you just see him just going at. And me and Michael looked at each other. We're like, "Yeah, we're gonna work with that guy." And then we left. We leave, and Gore was talking with the press, and I was like, "Just trust me." I go up and I put my hand on Gore's shoulder, and he was in front of the press, and he was just like, turns around, looks at me, he's like, "Anthony!" And I was like, "Do you remember?" And he gave me a big old hug. He was like, "What do you think? Do you love it?" And I was like, "Yes." I go, "I just want to rub salt in the wound to my wife." And my wife's like, "Nice to meet you." And it was hilarious because she was just like, "You do know him?" I go, "Yeah, 'cause we're like this." One more life. But that was an experience and a half. The first time I met him was when it was my scene with him, where I'm standing there, he's sitting in the throne, he's already painted down, and then he goes, "I should get a pair of those." And I was like, I looked at him, and he was like this, and he points at my feet, because remember we all wore rubber feet?
Yeah, the fake feet. Yeah.
And I was like, "It gets hot and sweaty in here." And he was just
You
like,
guys got rubber feet? We had nothing at first, man. We were barefoot.
I would have preferred being
Yeah,
barefoot.
yeah.
But the thing was, all the spots that you had to walk, it just hurt. And then he sticks out his hand, he's all Johnny Depp. And I was like, "Of course you are." And I'm like, "Anthony Patricio." And then after that, it was just, we were just having conversation, just like this, just hanging out. And I was just like, "It's so cool." I'm like, he was just really down to earth. And just, I asked him, I go, "What kind of advice would you give to actors who just are really struggling to just try and make it?" I go, it's probably a common question you hear. And he goes, "Actually, I haven't really thought about it." And he just caught, and everyone got quiet, and everyone just kind of like leaned in to listen. And he goes, "If you ever get, you look at a script, you pick the characters that no one wants to do." And he goes, "And you own that one," which makes sense because you look at all the kind of work that he's done. He picks characters that are really obscure and odd, but he owns it, and he makes those characters so alive, and that's why I was just like, "Oh, okay, well, it makes sense." That was right before we started doing the run out onto the beach. So the mannerism of Jack, how he does this a lot. I found out where it came from. So when he was doing this and he was running down the beach, and we kept chasing him, and we kept doing retakes over and over. Gore comes over, he's like, "So JD, less Vanna. And I was like, I overheard that, I was like, "That's Vanna."
Vanna White.
Vanna White. That's what it was. It was less Vanna.
Yeah.
And then I can hear Johnny Depp.
We look
like,
forward to it.
Less Vanna. And then he, Orlando, they all did the same thing right before. "All right, rolling, here we go." Ugh. They get right into it, and then they start, and then they get into character, and I was just like, "Less Vanna," and I was like, "Vanna White." That makes sense.
Yeah, I had a good conversation with Gore Verbinski because similar in the question of like, how do you succeed in this industry? And Gore Verbinski is a great director, but he came from music because he's a musician. He was with a band, and so the struggle as an artist, I think, is something that anybody can learn from. And so that was really cool. That when I spoke to Gore, I was like, "Oh, you're a musician. I totally understand why he's so passionate about what he does." And that's where he came from.
He did music videos. He did the Budweiser frogs.
Yeah. Oh, music video.
Yeah, he was the one who did the Budweiser frogs.
I had a different experience. So my first interaction with JD was, it was me, and because we were the core pirates of his crew for Pirates 3. And it was after we got on our makeup, it was me, Philip Shin, had this like, because we had really nasty makeup. You guys were nasty too, but we were nasty as well. And Philip had this like bump on his head, or by his nose. And then we were walking. This is in St. Vincent too. This wasn't in Dominica. So we were in St. Vincent. We're on a black sand beach, and we walk up, and there's Johnny, and then there's Jeffrey Rush as Captain Barbosa, and they're just hanging out there. And this was when we were barefoot, because it was our first day, so they didn't know to give us any like slippers, anything. It was freaking hot. The sand was burning, and so we get up there, and so we're all dressed up in our costumes and makeup, and then Philip's standing there, and then Johnny comes up in Jack Sparrow mode, and he's just kind of like, "Do you need a dermatologist for that?" And that's just how he broke it up. It was like he was always joking. He was always having a good time. It was really